Hey guys, how's it going? Go eBay Pro here. Today we're going to be having a segment about the selling clothes industry on eBay. It's not, it's a little different compared to other items like electronics. Now, like I said in the beginning of my last video, I actually started getting into reselling with electronics and anything I could really find besides clothing, just because I didn't really enjoy clothing. So I started off with electronics, and they do flip pretty fast. It's just the shipping is really annoying, and I guess it wouldn't be the easiest way to find them all the time. If you go to any thrift store that's known by resellers, they're all going to be packed in there like crazy. But so let me explain how the clothing industry works. Unlike electronics and board games and other items like that, basically the clothing industry is a lot slower. So it takes a little longer for items to sell, obviously depending on the brand. But that does change the way you confront the challenge of having a clothing business store on eBay. You obviously just can't expect things to sell within a week. Some things do, and that's amazing. Other things don't. And I think as long as you're picking out the right brands, everything could work. Everything will work out, and you will sell everything within a matter of a month and a half, mostly 2 months. That's what I get online when I see other videos too. They say the feedback is about 2 to 3 months, and those are like really top rated sellers. So, um, I honestly think it's really important to just be on the lookout for the right brands, and you'll be able to climb your way up there. Now, another important thing is with electronics, I always thought, whatever I could find is great, and I didn't really need to have that many listings because the price for per item was so high that you could sell a few things and make a pretty big profit margin. So I think with clothing, you need to have way more inventory because, like I said, with it selling slow, you need to have a lot of inventory so that you can at least sell whatever percentage is going to sell for you will sell for you with higher amount of inventory. So, for example, if I have 200 items, and or not, let's use this example. If I have 100 items and 2% a day sells for me, that's my average selling rate for clothing. That means that in a day I'm going to sell about 2 items. Now, depending on what the average cost of the item is on eBay, on your account, you're going to be making whatever 2% of 100 items, so whatever 2 items is the profit wise. Now imagine if you had 1,000 items. 2% of that would be 20 items, which means 20 items, if you're selling them for $30 a piece, you're going to be looking at $600 of gross profit, which if you're getting around 50% profit wise on your clothes, you're going to be looking at a $300 profit off of 20 items. Now you're saying, okay, well, I have to buy the 700 items. Yeah, that's what takes a little bit of time, and that's where most people, I feel like, get lost because they don't want to make the big investment in having to buy inventory really often so that they can build the brand and then they can kind of profit and have it be seen as a machine. That's what I think everybody here wants, right? I think it'd be the best thing in the world if you could just have those 700, 800 listings up, and as things sell, you list that amount that sells a day or even more just to get your store even more up. Like I said, the most important thing is for you guys to get the right inventory because that is key. If you get the right inventory, even if it takes 2 months to sell and you're not depending on the money ASAP, then that's fine because eventually you're going to sell it, you're going to make your money, and it's going to be perfect. I think if you start picking out things that don't sell, slowly you're going to realize that you need to change it up because things aren't moving. Now, the very negative side on this is if you do screw up in the very beginning, you're going to realize it a little later on. It's going to take some time for you to realize that things aren't selling because of the fact that there are people telling you that things are going to sell within a month or a month and a half. But I think if you look at certain brands, and there's many videos out there. I watch a lot of for clothes. I watch a lot of Rally Roots. I watch electronics, Craigslist Hunter. There's a lot of people out there that do it. Rockstar Flipper, obviously. If you go look into their pages, and I'll have some videos up in the near future of just clothing that sells. There's a lot of it. There's a lot of brands that you would never think of that you could just resell. All you gotta do is whip out your phone in the thrift store. Don't worry, it's not weird or anything. And just take a second to look into it before you buy it, because obviously you're thinking the clothes cost very little, so you could take a couple hits here and there off screwing up on certain items, but once you're doing this very often and you're going out and trying to source, it's going to be really annoying when you have a death pile that doesn't sell just because you got into the fascination of buying as many items that you saw that you thought could sell without even looking it up. Plus, a lot of the thrift stores are big, they have couches. It'd be no issue for you to just sit down and take a second to look through the inventory. Now, I don't know how you guys are, but I know when I first got into it, I would recognize all the brands, and then I would have like a cart full of things, like a ridiculous amount of things, and it would take me like just 20 minutes to source through the items that I had gotten before I checked out, and like half of them I just didn't even bother getting. I think another important thing to be on the lookout for in thrift stores is the clothing condition. A lot of clothing items, especially the bigger sized ones, you'll look through, skim, and think, oh, that's great buy. And then there's been times for me where I've gotten home and I've started hanging the clothing up to the list. I start taking the pictures and I realize, oh my God, there's a hole in this, or there's a huge stain that won't come out with just normal wash. I think that's a really big thing, because that right there, unless you could find someone who is able to fix it or clean it, you're looking at a dead item, something that you could barely even wear, and you're definitely not getting rid of it on eBay for anything profitable. So be on the lookout for that, the condition, and also another huge thing with thrift stores, be on the lookout for the special day, the specials, the special days that where they have 50% off. I know a lot of Salvation Armies around me have 50% off day, and Goodwill has those mini sales. I don't know about you guys. Some of them have the 50% off certain tags a week, but also if you're a little older, you could get the senior citizen discount on certain days. Students get a discount. It's nothing crazy. I think it's like 20%, but if you're going to go out there, you might as well get as big of a discount as you can, since you're already going out there to source anyways. And like I said, there's a million thrift stores, a lot of local ones, Goodwill, Salvation Army. Although Goodwill for me, I technically don't buy anything for over $5 unless it's like a jacket or a coat or a leather jacket that's really known out there that I know I'm going to make a bunch of money out of it. So for me, Goodwill is kind of overpriced a little. I think it's crazy how they overprice certain things that they just think is worth more, and you go out and you look it up and it's not even close to that amount on eBay. So how are you selling that in a thrift store for that amount? I don't know, maybe it's just the Goodwill by me though. I have heard of stories from people going to Goodwill. One thing I do really want to try is the Goodwill outlet bins. I think that would be a crazy money generator, and I'm actually looking into doing that soon. Hopefully I can get a drift haul for you guys so you could watch it all. But that is basically the concept of selling clothes on eBay. You want to have as many items as possible that you know are going to eventually sell, and obviously as you go on you're going to realize what sells better for you and what doesn't sell for you as easy, and what takes a month and what takes a week and what sells within hours. And that's just the beauty of it. Eventually you'll be able to recognize everything and just go to the thrift store, not even have to whip out your phone, just go looking through it and gather all your things and be on your way. Eventually, as time goes on, everything becomes less time consuming, and then you could just focus on listing and waiting for all your items to sell, right? Um, so have a lot of inventory and do not forget to list. That is the worst. When I first got into reselling, I would love to go out and shop for anything, everything. It was great. I know I'm going to sell this. And then I found myself with like 70 items clothing that I hadn't measured, taken pictures of, or listed, or anything. And it's great to go out and buy and know that you're going to sell it, but if you don't even list it, it's never even going to get a chance to sell, which is kind of the worst thing ever, that having that conscious in your head knowing, like, I should really be listing items right now and not doing anything else. But, you know, time takes a lot and other priorities. I think just stay on top of it as you can, and things should work out for you. Um, like I said, in the future I'll have more videos just talking about brands. Maybe I'll have separate videos talking about like a couple brands on each video, just so you could get a real good inside look on what sells on eBay. I'll have like my computer screen on, and you'll get a very good visual of certain brands. And another thing I think is really cool are ties. So I will definitely be doing a video on that. I know there's a lot of ties that sell. I actually found a Donald Trump tie just the other day, like a yellow Donald Trump tie. Bought it for $1 and it sold for like 20 within like an hour. It was crazy. I thought that was amazing. It's just $1 quick. Looking through it is easy, except it really sucks when there's just a huge pile of ties all knotted up and you go through the whole thing, spend like 20 minutes, and it's all the worst ties ever. I don't know. I hate Stafford as a company, as a clothing company. They don't make anything. I feel like I've never been able to sell any of that. There are also a lot of brands that are popular, but it really just depends on the item. And we're going to get into that more as we keep going on with these videos, and you'll see what kind of items you have to be on the lookout for within those brands, so you don't just go out and buy whatever is that brand and you think, okay, this is going to sell, and then you end up having to sell it for $7 to $8 and it barely sells because you thought that would just sell automatically. There's just so much to learn and so much to see and go out and do, and I just wanted to make this video so you guys kind of got a concept of what the clothing industry is. At least that's what my opinion in it is, seeing everybody else and how everybody else goes about their business on eBay with clothing. One thing that I think is really useful too is to open up a store. I know you're thinking, I'm just coming up, maybe you don't think you need it, but let me tell you, the stores has huge benefits. I know one thing that's huge for me is the listings. Going up to 250 or 1,000 is amazing. I mean, even the first one, you pay like $20 and you get 250 listings. They reduce the amount of the final fee that they take out of the 10%. It becomes like, I think, 9.15. After the 250 listings, if you want to keep going up, you only have to pay about 20 cents instead of 30. So I think that's already a plus. And if I'm not mistaken, I think I got an email about this. Every quarter of the month, they give you about, like, depending on what kind of store you have, I think the minimum is like $25 coupon on just eBay supplies that you could just waste on the supplies, which is pretty much really useful, especially for shipping reasons and, you know, getting bags and boxes and tape. So there's definitely a bunch of benefits off of that, and I really think you should look into it. If you guys have any questions about any of this or want to know anything else, just leave a comment down below. I'm always open to answer. I always answer everybody. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please follow me on Instagram and YouTube and hit the like button and subscribe. I will be putting the links of my Instagram and Facebook in the description below so that you can go check it out. Okay, guys? I hope you guys have a good day.